everybody. This is Chris from Hotspot Metals in Chicago, Illinois. What the heck just happened? I want your feedback on this. If you watched my ramblings from last night's video, I drew a really cool chart, showed this nice solid upward progression for gold and silver, and I made a speculation that we would just keep going up, or at least we would bounce off that line. Well, I want to be the first one to say I was wrong. I should have looked a little bit closer at some of the other indicators. Probably mostly the relative strength indicator, because what I kind of taught myself today is as those oscillations get smaller and smaller and the RSI starts to drop, we'll have to do a little session on the relative strength indicator, RSI. You can select it from the chart here, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty. Let's see here. Relative strength index. And okay. Yesterday we were up here around 60, 70. Now we're around the 40, 50 area. However, that is usually a nice sweet spot to move up from. And I will give myself one small bit of credit last night for saying that I thought that gold was going to go to 1313, and I was surprised it didn't. Really happy it held the line up around 1320. But guess what? Today it dropped. So the title of this video is What the Heck Happened? I don't know, but I tell you, this is how I kind of find out. Clearly, it had nothing to do with the charts. It had nothing to do with wonderful sentiment about gold and silver, or even bad sentiment about gold and silver. But one of the things I would do in most cases when I have a what the heck happened moment is come over to my daily gold and silver news feed and kind of go through here and see what some of the articles are saying, thinking it has pretty much geopolitical impact. As we know, there was some testimony in Washington. The president was in Korea, and apparently that was a flop. A lot of negativity out of Washington about things. And the dollar took off on the news that the trade deal was kind of on hold, no agreement there. Then more not so great news out of the North Korean talks. And what people do when they're uncertain around the world is they buy bonds and equities priced in US dollars, which increases the demand for the US dollar as a safe haven, because most people don't think anymore about gold and silver as a safe haven. They think the dollar is, and really the dollar is as a first line of defense. But you go put all your money in dollars, and then for some reason people just listen to the news and they hear Fed Chairman Powell talk about his goal, the stated goal of creating at least 2% inflation every year. So it's kind of like guys saying, well, I'm going to take a 2% chunk out of your money. It's going to be worth 2% less every year. And shouldn't we all want that? That's our goal. They're coming right up front and telling you, we're just going to depreciate your dollar more and more and more. And of course, most of us here know that since the Federal Reserve was enacted in 1913, the U.S. dollar is worth about 3 or 4 cents compared to the full dollar it was then. We got not so great news out of China. Their GDP is dropping. That affects everyone. Let's see. This is gold and silver mining news. I really should be looking more at economic. And for those of you on desktop, you can just click right and left to see what's going on. Jobless claims rise, GDP growth slows. These are all things that give people kind of a deer in the headlights moment. They don't know what to do. The first thing they do is they start selling things, selling equities, even selling their paper gold and silver, and some people are silly enough to sell their physical gold and silver. But again, that's a great thing about gold and silver. You don't just click a button and your money ends up at APMEX and you've got your dough. You have to really think about it. It's not an impulsive kind of thing. Anyway, so I would look at the news here. I'm kind of a news junkie. You can go all over the place and find reasons for things. If we go to the live charts, I would point out, look at that, right at 1313. And I did say I thought it was going to go here, but I was cheering it up. I was cheering forward last night. Both of these, I'm going to show you, have broken that trend line I showed you last night. Let's switch over to the daily chart and go back to that November point we were talking about. And oopsie daisy, gold went right through that line. And I'm kind of guessing that we're either in for more of a sideways to down move here. I'd like to see it consolidate here. If I spin out a little bit and look at right where we're at, we have bounced off of this going back to, let's see, January of 2018. So this is a historic support point. I will be very disappointed to see it go below this 13. Really, if we get down into this area below 13, I think we're going all the way down, probably to like 1278 or so again. And 1278 would be this other kind of support level over here that goes back to 2017. So, yeah, we've broken that line, not by a ton, but still, that's a significant break. And for silver, you maybe don't even want me to go there. Let's just see real quick. I won't use up a whole lot of your time on this, but ouch. There we are. We could definitely see this get down here into the low 15s again. What would I call that, everybody? I would call that a buying opportunity. In fact, I've been buying a little bit all along the way here. If you look at this 15 to 16 range, by all statistics and accounts, this is close to the cost of production for most silver suppliers, silver miners. So anything in here is still, you're going to be all right, but I think that I'm going to wait a little bit until I acquire any more. Let's go down and see what the dollar's doing tonight. And the nice thing about this heat map, look at this dark line here. Japan, the Japanese yen is down hard against all the baskets of currencies. And the USD, of course, this makes the US dollar seem a little stronger. USD is up against the yen, of course, because the yen's down so bad. British pound, we're up a little bit against that. And the Swiss franc, we're up against that. We could look at the Aussie dollar, Canadian, and New Zealand, and the yen, but really, I kind of discount these because they're much, much smaller percentages of the U.S. dollar index. And let's see if anybody's from the government's gonna open their yapper tomorrow and give us some more exciting news that'll make the markets move. Let's see. We got the Dallas Fed. I'm not sure what PCE is. Okay, I'll look that up and be smarter next time. Personal income, 6:30 tomorrow morning. Consumption numbers. Core price index. University of Michigan. I'm not sure exactly what this is. That's not confidence numbers because they already came out with that. Oh, here we go. U.S. Michigan sentiment. Okay, it was 91.2 prior, and they are forecasting that everybody out there, including you folks, are going to be much more confident and probably just go right out and buy a whole bunch of flat screen TVs. Anyway, and this is fun to watch, but unless you're exchanging currency, it really doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, if you plan on going to Canada with your money and you're going to go gamble, you will get $1.31 for every dollar you take there to the Windsor Casino in Windsor, Ontario. I just know that because I from Detroit a long time ago. It's always great to have a great exchange rate like that. So anyway, that was just kind of a scan of the markets. I think that there's not a lot of excitement coming up right now. We had some excitement. I think we've got a little bit of work to do. Plenty of work to do here. But it just goes to show you that it's not the charts. It's not, we were humming right along. The Fed happy talked the market. A bunch of geopolitical events occurred, and here we are. So this is the way it works. But you always know in the general direction is that the dollar will be inflated due to government spending, borrowing, and market capitalization. They're going to shove more money at everything, and they have been. And that just makes there more dollars and worth less. So you got a safe bet in the long run. But we're just having fun looking at the short run right now. Anyway, and by the way, once again, don't buy anything on my word. I'm just a dude. What else was I going to do today? We were going to talk. I was actually going to talk about different places that I get my precious metals, and I'm sure you do too. APMEX, SD Bullion, JM Bullion, Bold Precious Metals, Provident, and Golden State Mint. This is all really just fun stuff, but I like it there. Anyway, I'm running long on this video anyway, so I think what we'll do is tomorrow night we'll go through these and we'll do some bargain hunting. We'll go see who's doing what and talk about who's giving away what free with your first order. I went around to all these guys and bought all their first order deal, where you get X amount of ounces at spot for your first order. So, and some of those are down here on display on my desk, except for the pen. APMEX didn't give me anything, nothing. But for Christmas, I got this pen with gold flake in it. There's probably about 25 cents worth of gold in there, but it was a nice gesture. But anyway, we'll do that tomorrow night, okay? For now, this is Chris with Hotspot Metals signing off. Good night.